join. I think we can see him.
Yes. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. He is connecting his audio system. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Yes, yes.
Okay. So should we start, sir?
Yes, yes. Let me. Yes.
Okay.
Start.
No? Okay. So good morning, everybody. We welcome all of you, all the panelists, as well as our participants, and dignitaries who have already attended. And 210 has already registered, but I think we find the 41 participants. Now, today is the topic is is the evolution of food from fortification to medical foods through encapsulation. And our honorable speaker is Dr. Dilip Ghosh. Here he is from Australia, where Western Sydney University is working, and he's also associated with number of organizations like NutriConnect, Sydney and Australia, Sydney Labs Private Limited, and also industry fellow, NICM Health Research Institute. So today's topics is, the food technology is coming up. It's a traditional technology. It's nothing new, but it needs a lot of innovations. Like now, people only taking foods not for the hunger, but also for the taste and also for the nutrition. Now, so for this purpose, we need to have a fortifications. All foods are not uniform. So some chemically or composition wise, they're different. In some part, composition has to be, now because of this variation in composition, we need to fortify our foods to have a health drinks or have a uniform foods. Now this nutritional support, we need to have lot of other components. Now here, Dr. Dilip Ghosh will cover all these topics like evolution of food from fortification to medical foods. Now the food is required for not only for our nutritional support, but also for the taste, and also as because the food needs to be quality wise also supposed to be very all right for our human consumptions. Now, as because it's a common concept that everybody is a food technologist because they are taking foods, or everybody is cooking foods. Now everybody is buying foods. But food technology is altogether a different area. It's a multidisciplinary area and highly specific area. So though we are innovative, a lot of innovations we are doing. I hence and we are also having here Professor B. Paira. He is also our academic advisor, and Professor Pranavesh Chakraborty, head and director of our school. So I request now Professor Soikat Moitra, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, to inaugurate the program and give the keynote address. Thank you, sir. Over to you.
Thank you, Professor Sevak Ranjan Rai. So it's nice that you are organizing a series of programs in food technology and food science for our prospective learners in food science and technology. We initiated this program last year at our university, this in the form of bachelor degree and master degree in food technology, and now we are aspiring for this taking this ahead with more numbers of students enrolled, and of course this taking up certain projects and research works to make this department fully this full-fledged this independent unit or center as in near future. This is one of our future goal and future this vision, that we want to set up a center for food technology where there are lots of verticals of food science and technology will be there in the form of academics, in the form of research, in the form of startup, incubation, and all sorts of ecosystem that we want to build up. Because in India, what the survey says that the prospect and career, the scope of food technology is very bright for the young students, and in near future, there are different reasons for it. Either one of the reasons this acute food shortage which is there in India and which will be there after this, even in the context of the pandemic scenario in near future, because of the fact this manufacturing, food manufacturing and other activities have been drastically affected or impacted by this pandemic scenario. And therefore, there are new, these options are coming up. But the reality is that, this importance of food technology and importance of food technologists, these are going to be increased significantly or exponentially. And lots of, the food ecosystems are coming up, food technology-based ecosystems are coming up. Now in India, I've already expressed my view in other occasions also. We have abundant scope of doing all this, these research works and to mitigate this for mitigating the problems of, this food crisis in India. In India, the problem of food crisis is serious in the context, the diversity of this country, this accessibility to this food, quality food, accessibility to the, total quantity of food also, because we are not in a position to supply 2 square meal to almost to all the Indians, even now today. And that is reflected by the fact by a report published by United Nations in the form of hunger index and all these things. So quantity and quality of foods, these are very, very essential in Indian context to satiate and to satisfy this hunger of these 135 crores of populations here. This is one thing. Secondly, there will be lots of scopes in utilizing our natural resources or traditional, these food items to make it, presented in different formats and forms, and to take up research works in developing different types of, these quality foods, healthcare related foods and all these things for natural items and all these things. And this in near future, I believe that this will open up this big economic proposition for this country in the form of, having a large numbers of startups, business opportunities, then different organizations, I think they will be venturing in this food technology. Of the late, we have observed that even from IT sectors also, people are interested in investing this food technology. Bill Gates is the example. They are trying to invest this in food or this cultured food, or there's a concept of meatless meat and cultured food, cellular biology, and all these concepts are coming up. So there are, and there are many, the other engineering aspects, food preservation, food processing, food packaging, and this making this food cheaper, and making the food, the self to have by enhancing to enhance the shelf life of the food, to develop technology to reduce this, the wastage of these foods, all these things, recycling of these waste foods. Many things are, many opportunities, many scopes and opportunities are there. Because here, what we are seeing is there is a tremendous inequality. In one side, we are seeing this wastage of foods, and another side, there is a scarcity of foods. So all these things, this technology can provide all the solution. Because from social science, this has, this some certain importance. We can appeal to people not to waste food, not to but to consume food, considering their requirement and all these things. But you see, when this economy grows up, and this middle class people, they have their more capacity. Then these are the one of the one of the directions, or one of the particular, this what I can say, this is right sort of words. One maybe the symbol, or one this area that is more wastage and more consumption compared to our own capacity, and more wastage. That happens in terms of food, in terms of power consumption, in terms of this water wastage. So that happens. But at the same time, at many other parts of this country, we are seeing there is a tremendous shortage, crisis, scarcity for all these items. So these are social science affairs, but at the same time, but only now it's what we are observing, that technology can provide right type of solution for taking care of all these things. And in that context, I believe that our this newly established course of food technology, food science and technology will be able to develop or generate a numbers of professionals, experts in this food science and technology for taking up all this challenging scenario of the future. we want, this balanced, this system, balanced ecosystem, balanced society, and food for all. That should be our, this motto, or that should be our one of the mandate for each and every Indians. And we have to work together. And now we are trying to develop our own ecosystem, integrating with government system, integrating with private agencies, with corporates, all these things. And in food technology, we will be doing all this activity in a massive way in coming days. Professor Sebok Ranjan Rai, Professor Poira, and other faculty, Professor Pronobesh Chakraborty, all they are working in that direction. And I believe, and this is my sincere desire, that in near future, we will be able to serve the society in mitigating the problem of food scarcity, hungers, and all these things in near future, with the help of technology, research, with the help of this our knowledge developed, and our of course through our ecosystems and through our massive integrations with different stakeholders. So with this, I'd like to conclude, because there will be technical deliberation, and we are very happy that from Australia, Professor Dilip Ghosh, he joined us, and we will be enlightened, so listening from different these aspects and different areas of food engineering, food science, and food technology, what is happening today and what are going to come in near future. And our learners, all the participants, they will be benefited from this. And my advice to all of them is take notes of all these things, so that whatever is being said by our experts, that you can, this nurture, you can culture, and you can also, this add on to this area. And for that, you need a very serious, this engagement and interaction. And we believe the developer for the development of a collaborative community also, and collaborative community in food science and technology in coming days, for taking up all these problems of food-related areas. So my sincerest thanks to Professor Sebok Ranjan Rai, Professor Poira, Professor Pronobesh Chakraborty, and all other these personalities who are associated directly in taking up this mission of this university. And my best wishes to all the participants. My thanks to Professor Dr. Dilip Ghosh from Australia. He has kindly consented to join our webinars for the benefit of our learners. So I wish this will be a happy learning, effective learning, and of course, a thought-provoking learning session by today's webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your beautiful and boosting lecture advice for us. We'll definitely will remember all the time your such advices. Now I straight away will, with your permission, I will go to introduce Dr. Dilip Ghosh. Dr. Dilip Ghosh has received his PhD in biomedical science from India and postdocs from Tufts University, Boston. He is an international speaker, facilitator, and author, and professionally associated with Nutraceuticals Lab, Australia, adjunct industry fellow, NICM Health Research Institute, Western Sydney University. He is a fellow of American College of Nutrition, professional member of Australian Institute of Food Science and Technology, and advisor and executive board member of Health Foods and Dietary Supplements Association, HATSA, the Society, and the Society for Ethnopharmacology, India, and also in editorial board of several journals. His research interest includes oxidative stress, bioactive, clinically proven functional foods, and natural medicine development, regulatory and scientific aspects of functional foods, nutraceuticals, and herbal medicines. Dr. Ghosh has published more than 100 papers in peer-reviewed journals, numerous articles in food and nutrition magazines and books. His most recent 2 books, Pharmaceutical to Nutraceutical, A Paradigm Shift in Disease Prevention, and Natural Medicine Clinic Efficacy, Safety, and Quality under CRC Press USA, has been published in 2017 and 2019. His current book, Nutraceutical in Brain Health and Beyond, is going to be published in September by Elsewhere Academic Press. Now, he is going to speak on the topics, this evolution of food from fortification to medical foods through encapsulations. Now, the humankind has always been interested in food, and we have seen in last century the unique journey of food through different domains, from satisfying basic nutritional need to disease prevention. Now, foods are no longer considered in terms of hunger satisfaction and safety, but also considered for the effects they deliver on human health. Particularly, we have strong focus on the functional foods, which are the convergence of two major events in our lives, diet and health. Many emerging technologies such as nano and gene technology, electrospinning and electrospraying has improved quality, safety and efficacy as properties of both our ancient and modern foods. A unique space has been created in between dietary supplements and pharmaceuticals, and the medical foods category may offer novel growth for research-focused companies based on the concept food as therapeutics and farm to clinic concept. In food and nutrition areas, journey from the bench to the bedside is a long and complex endeavor, and Dr. Ghosh will discuss this journey. Thank you. Now I invite Dr. Dilip Ghosh to deliver his lecture. Thank you. Dr. Dilip Ghosh, over to you.
Thank you, Professor Roy, for your kind introduction. First, I would like to thank you, Professor Maiti, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Paira, Academic Advisor, Professor Chakraborty, Director, and definitely Professor Roy for organizing this webinar. Just pull up my slides. Can you see my slides?
Yes, we can see.
Okay. So, as Dr. Roy said, it's a long journey. It's a several decades, or I can say it's a century old journey. So I cannot touch everything within my 1 hour lecture. But based on my background in medical science, I will cover mostly from medical side of the food. But definitely I will touch on fortification and encapsulation area, because these are the two very, very significant development in food science and technology area. So let's try. So first slide, the information I provided in this presentation is gathered and summarized from many sources. Every endeavor is made to ensure accuracy of the information. And I have no financial connection with any companies or any product I named in my presentation. This is just for the sake of the science. Just one slide, what we are doing. So we are very specialist organization for helping industries to enter into the new market. We are specialist in South Asian market entry, including India, and also the Australasian market entry like Australia and New Zealand also. We are covering every aspect of market entry. So few slides, I think these are very, very important books I wrote and edited also few books in this area, in food, functional food, nutraceutical area. The first book published in this area that will be very interesting to you also, the biotechnology in functional food and nutraceutical. As Professor Roy mentioned, there are many new technologies, newly like the nanotechnology or gene-based technology. You can find all this technology in this book. Second book we published, that innovation and commercialization of functional food and nutraceutical. If you see, there are thousands of patents in this area. But how many patents ultimately see the pharmacy shelf or that going to the consumer? Maybe 0.5% maximum. So this book will tell you how you bring your product from your lab to the market. Third book, that is the clinical aspect of functional food and nutraceutical. So that is very lacking in this area. Most of the information industry used traditional knowledge, not modern medicine aspect, like double-blinded placebo-controlled trial or some big observational trial also. And this book, this is we wrote this book. It's an authored book, not edited book. How the industry moving from pharmaceutical to nutraceutical. That means how industry is moving from illness to wellness, that model. This book published middle of last year. That is all about natural medicine, the clinical efficacy, safety, and quality. So I published with one of the very leading Indian professor, Professor Pulak Mukherjee. This book will publish next month, 2nd of November. That is the Nutraceutical in Brain Health and Beyond. When we talk about brain health, we mostly concentrate on either uh, cognition and memory also. But there are many things beyond cognition and memory, like Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson disease, autism, all this area. So we covered how to, we cannot say treat this disease, but we can say how to prevent or ameliorate this disease also with the nutraceutical. If you see the modern society, that is the chronic disease is rising globally. We all know. But the very interesting thing, if you see the 2008 and 2009, so this one is the high income countries, that is middle income countries, this is the low income countries. The significant differences at 2008 and 2009, you can see the low income country, the communicable disease, which we called it's a rich country disease, but it is increasing in low income countries also. So this is a little worry. And how can we address this? As WHO said, health for all. It is not only possible by pharmaceutical. It is not only that pharmaceutical new molecule development is very slow, but also the price, because pharmaceutical are very, very expensive. And the latest fourth generation, third generation pharmaceutical, very expensive. The low income country, even middle income country cannot afford this price. So the only option is food, functional food, medical food. So we can treat all these non-communicable disease. If you see the top top 5 health problem, that is heart disease, cancer, stroke, diabetes, and Alzheimer's disease, these are increasing significantly. You can see that all this movement is staggering. So when we are talking about pharmaceutical, so these are the population that is a target population for pharma, which are sick people, sick, ill people. That is 5% of the total population. But the 95% of the population, if you see the blue area, that is target for the food industry. So that means if you have innovation, if you have new technology, and if you develop a good product, so your market is huge. But unfortunately, India has huge potential, but India hasn't come that much way. India is improving, definitely. India's contribution in the nutraceutical market was 1% before the global contribution, but it is increased in last 5 years, 2%. So this is some significant changes. Ayurveda is significantly growing, and especially after this COVID situation, I can show one slide how these that market is growing, that wellness market or that natural medicine or nutraceutical market also. It is not only food. I can tell you some evolution of health also. If you see 18s to 19, that is that 100 years, that is mostly the drug development. That vitamin C, penicillin, aspirin, insulin, all this area. So health is the absence of disease. It was the target. But in current century, that is 1990s, 2000 and beyond, you can see promoting health, active lifestyle, healthy diet pattern, managing stress. So these are all targeting wellness, not only controlling the disease, but if you increase or if you improve your health, so that means you can uh, you can decline or you can decrease the disease burden also. This slide, you can see the evolution, actual evolution of the food. So the at the bottom end, it's a nutrition area, then health and well-beings, protection of risk reduction, prevention and treatment. If you see the food, lesserable foods, natural health foods, functional food, supplements, and ultimately the new generation medical food. I will talk little bit on every areas. This is another very interesting slide. Uh, Purpose of therapy, health professional involvement, individual participation, and treatment of cost. If you see the left-hand side, food, purpose of therapy, reduction of risk, drug is treatment of disease. Health professional involvement is very low in the food, but the doctor's involvement is very high in the drug. Individual participation is very high in food, functional food area, but there is no individual participation. It is all healthcare professional participation in drug area. Treatment cost is very low in food area and very high in drug area. Okay, some classical definition of food. Uh, Food is the material consisting essentially of protein, carbohydrate, and fat used in the body by an organism sustain growth, repair, and vital processes. So this is only to sustain your body. Functional food, a functional food is the food claimed to have an additional function, that is additional of the normal food, by adding new ingredients or more or existing ingredients, or purposely bred into the existing edible plant. So there are lot of new plants, uh, that is purposely bred. It is not genetically engineered, but it's a selective breeding. So they develop a very, very high nutrient fruit or vegetable. The third category is the nutraceutical category. This is my own favorite area. A food or specific component of food that are allegedly provided medicinal or health benefit. So major difference between functional food, that is nutraceutical in a dosage format, like in a capsule or tablet or sachet. So it is a dosage format, but functional food is not a dosage format. And medical food, it is purely a medical food. It is controlled or dispensed by the healthcare professional like the doctors, and it is targeted to reduce or significantly decrease the disease also. So these are the main definition and difference between the different types of food. You can see when you see the left hand side, the healthy people, unhealthy people, and diseased people. And we see the diseased people, they need a dietary, that is a pharmaceutical product. But uh, unhealthy people, so if I have some cholesterol problem, I will take the plant statin. These are all dietary supplement or functional food category. So these are the continuum of health. So nutrition, pharma-nutra interface, and the pharmaceuticals. But there is a new category that is coming that we call this medical food. So we can see this is in between a nutraceutical and pharmaceutical. So I will tell you more about this medical food. So first, functional food. So there are many definitions in the market. You can see the food providing benefit beyond basic nutrition. So which you are not getting from normal food, like like uh, that blueberry or cranberry. To get the benefit from blueberry or cranberry, you have to eat few kilos of blueberry or cranberry, and that is not possible. So that's why uh, the company they developed a capsule or tablet that is a very high concentrated active molecule of blueberry and cranberry, and that is more bioavailable. So if you take normal turmeric, it is not bioavailable. Maybe uh, 0.5 to 2 to 3% bioavailability, and that's why you can see the most of the uh, commercial curcumin product uh, that is bio-optimized and encapsulated. That means they increase maybe sometimes 75% bioavailability, and that is due to the new technologies also. Food that are functional at some physiological level, whole food or modified food, food incorporating new technologies like new gene technologies or nanotechnologies also. If you develop a new food using the nanotechnology, that will be a functional food or nutraceutical. Specific purpose food. You can see in India also, in nutraceutical category or FISANS, the Food Safety Standard Authority of India, they have a special category food for special function. So something like that, if you have a very specific type of problem or disease, you need a specific nutritional supplement. If you take normal nutritional supplement, that is not good enough for you. So that means you need a special nutrient, that is the food for a special purpose food, and foods associated with the health claims. And you can see there are many foods or functional food or nutraceutical, they are coming with specific health claims. But how we see the functional food? So to me, the definition of functional food, foods marketed on benefit based on scientific evidence. That means marketed, that means communication, benefit, that is the health outcome, and evidence, that is the science. So the take home message is, if you combine your science, your health outcome, and your good communication, then you can develop a perfect functional food. Otherwise, it will be a just a me too or a commodity product also. Some example of functional food. Maybe some products are present in India in the different brand name or something, but these are the global brands. You can see the Smart Balance, it is a light. That means proven to significantly lower the cholesterol. So that means some sort of health claims. So if you take this one, you can reduce your cholesterol level. So that is a Smart Start, that is the Kellogg's cereal, that is full of antioxidant. Smart Start, it is a full of soy protein. So these are all, some are direct health claims, that is the lower cholesterol, but these are indirect health claims. So you can see in the functional food. Here, one golden wheats, that is also a Kellogg's cereal product, now has zinc. And we know these all these B1, B2, niacin, and zinc also, they improve significantly the immunity also. So it's a some sort of indirect health claims. That is one product. That is a New Zealand product, Fonterra. You know, the Fonterra is the global number one dairy company in the world. They launched this product maybe uh, 10, 15 years before, but still it is number one product. That is with milk with high calcium. It's a phenomenon. It's a big name in Asian countries. It is good in Western world, but it is very good in market in Asian country only. So it is a calcium enriched milk. You can see this level. So they clearly indicate that product contains 18% of zinc, 23% of uh, iron, and 41% of calcium. That means percentage of RDI. That is the recommended daily intake. So these are clearly all are functional food. I will say a little bit about the fortification and encapsulation. It is well established that the best way to prevent micronutrient deficiency and malnutrition is to ensure the consumption of the balanced diet uh, inadequate in the good nutrients. But fortification of food is in the market for many years, and there is a significant evolution of fortification. If we see the conventional fortification, then dietary diversification, then we have seen the biofortification, and this is a absolutely new concept that is coming in last year, that is food to food fortification. So this is still a work in progress theory, but I will tell a little bit later. In encapsulation area, as you know, you need to encapsulate either in fortification to go for a good fortification, or to improve the quality of the food or efficacy of the food you are eating. So you need a core phase, you need a shell material, you need a technology, either it is a micro encapsulation, nano encapsulation, or hybrid nano encapsulation, and you need a application method also. So if we see the four pillars of food fortification, as I say, the conventional fortification, the addition of the micronutrient to the food, that is a simple fortification. Then we can see the dietary diversification, increase both the quantity and the range of micronutrient dense food consumed. Then the biofortification, it is not only fortification, but you increase the bioavailability also of the target nutrients. Then the new concept is coming, food to food fortification, addition of multiple multi-nutrients. Like if you want to add zinc, vitamin C, iron with the staple starchy food. And that project, it is a WHO WFA project that started in Kenya in 2019. And because in African country, there is a huge deficiency of protein. So what they are doing, they are doing food to food fortification, like cereal with pulse with the high protein, and also a couple of micronutrients like zinc, iron, or different types of vitamins also. So this is a new concept. It is a working concept. It has no definite definition as of now, but it is coming soon. If you go to the encapsulation area, there are huge advantage in encapsulation in food industry. As I mentioned, the one example is curcumin, and one company that is a Belgium company, they develop a curcumin, that is an Indian curcumin, but uh, they developed by their own technology, and they claim in the clinical setup that is 145% increase in bioavailability. That is the highest claim so far in the world. So what are the advantages? So reduce the toxicity, sustained release, moisture stability, target delivery, enhanced solubility, prolonged shelf life, reduce side effect, improved effectiveness, improved dispersibility, improved bioavailability, texture, particle aggression, chemical degradation, reduce, and mixing in incompatible ingredients. So you can see there are so many, and it's a different purpose. In some product, it is maybe improve efficacy and bioavailability, but in some area, that is the moisture stability or targeted delivery, it's a different thing. There are many technologies are involved in the micro encapsulated ingredients. If you are interested, you can read our book also. That is the biotechnology book. That is, you can micro encapsulate peptides. You can micro encapsulate color, pigments, dye, and this is a very new area, very high growth area. So companies are probiotic. They are micro encapsulating probiotic, multiple probiotic, amino acid, herbs. This is one area because the normal taste and flavors of herbs are very bitter, very pungent. So that's why you have to encapsulate the herbs, and if you deliver through the mouth, uh, sweeteners, essential oils, vitamins, minerals, enzymes, antioxidant, oils, and flavors. There are so many things. So you can use micro encapsulated technology also. There are many technology in this area: the extrusion, uh, gelation, freezing, fluidized bed, spray drying, polymerization, gelation. There are different types of gelation, solvent evaporation, and the very latest technology is supercritical carbon dioxide technology also. So these are the microencapsulation technology present in the market. If you see the food encapsulation market, it's a huge market and growing very significantly. That is a nearly $10 billion market in 2020, and is projected is 14.1 billion in next 5 years. And the biggest area is the functional food product, and the second largest is the nutraceutical or dietary supplement area. But the experts are saying this area will go faster than the functional food product area. It's a, if you see the, we know the reverse engineering. Uh, uh, if you see the previously, it was technology based. You can see the food functionalities, nanocarriers, bioactive, wall material, encapsulation techniques, food metrics, then you deliver to the consumer. So all this previous approach were not consumer centric. But today, if you see the green area, or that is targeting consumers. So what consumer is looking? So you can do this way. Now I am going to the my favorite area, that is a nutraceutical. That is the classical example that is coined by the Stephen D. Fellis, who are in this area, you know. A food or part of the food that provides medical or health benefit, including the prevention and or treatment of the disease. So we called nutraceutical. You can see the publication in this area that is skyrocketing. After 2010, it is growing just like anything, that research in this area. You can see the market, the nutraceutical market is $382 billion US dollar in 2019. Indian nutraceutical market, as I said, it is 2.8 billion, very small, but it is expected to grow to 8.5. That is a very significant growth in next 7 years, 2.8 to 8.5 billion. China's traditional Chinese medicine market is very big, 48 billion. Whereas our own Ayurvedic market is growing, but still it is 4.5 billion only. That is only the 10% of the Chinese traditional medicine. But it is expectation of the later growing to 14.9 billion in 2026. You can see these are from the very recent, maybe few weeks old Indian newspaper information. Dabur, Himalayas, even the Imami also. I see Dr. Katihar in the participant. Dr. Katihar is developing all products for the Imami also. So their growth is phenomenon after during this COVID, especially the Guduchi, Tulushi, Amlaki, Ashwagandha. There are increasing demand. Search for the immunity power in Ayurveda. It is not only in India, it is a global trend. You can see how big is the TCM market growing. Shift in the alternative medicine industry. This is a very encouraging trend. And you can see that Chyawanprash sales in industry grew 283% in just 1 month. Branded honey, that rose 39% to 40% nearly. And especially the Dabur Chyawanprash sales surged 700% from April to June also. You cannot imagine. I think the other Chyawanprash also like Imami, Baidyanath Chyawanprash also, they showed a similar growth also. Nutraceutical market growth in a different area. It is a recent information, 2008. That is in the cognition, that is a brain health area. You can see the Australia, Brazil, Canada, China is still leading. This is in the digestive health area. Australia, China is still leading. US also very big. But in the heart health area, few countries are very big. Australia, Canada, China, Italy, Spain, UK. And these are the joint health area. Also, Australia, Brazil, China are very big market. You cannot see here Indian position because Indian market is still very small. It's an exciting opportunity, the nutraceutical, or we can say the functional food or modified functional food. So there are many challenges. I can tell you in my next few slides also. The pharma companies are declining return on the R&D investment. You know, to develop a new molecule in pharmaceutical industry, it's a $6 to $10 billion investment. 6 to 10 US billion dollar investment. And it took nearly 10 to 15 years to develop a new molecule. No pharma company is interested to invest such money and time. And that's why you can see last 7-8 years, there is no molecule, no new molecule. And the all old molecule, their patent is expiring. So there is a patent cliff. Pressure on the health budget, because you know this, when the product is patented, there is no price control on the product. So the company can choose the price, whether it is $100 or $1,000. And there are a lot of regulatory oversight also, very, very strict regulatory regime. But if you see the food companies, it is a slow growing, retailer owned brand, that is and the internet marketing also is coming in coming days. So this nutraceutical, they are taking all goods from good thing from pharma industry and good thing from the food industry also. So new sector with the lower R&D cost, new revenue source. Most purposes are made by the consumers. I think consumers are looking for health benefit. Not only whether it is a taste good or looks good. A taste good, looks good, important. But in today's world, how and what benefit, health benefit, it is giving to the consumers. Still, USA is the largest market. And then the second largest is the Japan, Europe 14%, and the other countries, the Asia Pacific is growing in this area. You can see the merger and acquisition. So where you can see the merger and acquisition? So which industry? So those industry, they are very innovative. There is a good potential of chance of return, good return on the investment. So if you invest $500 million, so you will get good return on your investment. So there you can see the more merger and acquisition also. Just few example in recent years, last 10 years, you can see the Pfizer, the pharmaceutical giant, they bought White Nutrition because the White has a very good market share in the baby or toddler nutrition, and that's why Pfizer want to acquire this brand. We see the Mark also. They acquired the Shedding Plow, another the pharmaceutical company also. Recently, we can see last 7-8 years, one Indonesian company, Soho Group, they acquired 5 or 6 companies globally. They acquired Australian Flodis, they acquired American Clear Labs, they acquired American Prothera, they acquired UK-based company Potters, and they acquired Switzerland-based company Jinsana. So what is the purpose of this acquisition or merging? Just to control the market. So you can control the baby nutrition market. You can control the heart nutrition market or your bone nutrition market. So that's why more investment coming and the industry is growing in this area. So there is a reshaping nutraceutical. There are 2 directions in this area. You can see the Nestle. Nestle traditionally known as a food company, but maybe after few years, Nestle will be a medical food company, purely health area. That is Axona or Acera. The Acera is the company, Axona is the product. The medical claims about the metabolism of sugar in the brain associated with the Alzheimer's disease patient, branded, aligned to the scientific evidence, prescription only product, FDA warning. Whereas you can see the Yakult. It is also a purely food company. Food company means it's a one probiotic they developed maybe 100 years before, but they are using the new research with science and clinical research. They are entering into the new areas. Yakult is present in India also. So you can see the that is a from food to the health also. So pharmaceutical to nutraceutical transition. If you are interested, you can read this book. So how the illness, sick industry is moving to the wellness industry. That is the nutraceutical industry. So there are a lot of interest from pharma industries. If you see in India also, that all these big pharmaceutical company like GSK, Abbott, all big pharma company, Sun Pharma, they have a nutraceutical division. And their main profit, because Nutra industry's growth rate globally is 16 to 20%. Whereas pharma industry growth rate is 1 to 2% average. So that means new interest from the pharma industries, new investment through merger and acquisition, high level quality, safety, efficacy, as Professor Roy mentioned, uh, food was not only for taste or safe. So we are looking for health also, efficacy. So this is a new quality, safety, efficacy. And all the new generation food, you can see these are manufacturing in the pharma grade GMP environment. It is not a very low level GMP. It is a pharma grade GMP environment. Marketing, product positioning. So they are doing a lot of medical marketing. So this is that means they are marketing through the healthcare professional, through the nutritionist, clinical nutritionist, pharmacist, and doctors also. Regulatory evolution, I can tell you one evolution in India also, phytopharmaceutical category, in my later stage of presentation. So there is a lot of new changes are coming in this category also. More and more company, they are underpinning science. That means they are investing clinical trials also. I am working with many Indian companies. They are doing clinical trial in Australia also. So one clinical trial costs 300 to 400 thousand Australian dollar. It's a lot of money, but the companies are willing to invest in this area, because without science, without clinical evidence, you cannot sell any product. And it's a new categorization. We can see the medical food is coming, new nutraceutical category is coming. So new categories are coming in this area. So the food and pharma, the food, so they generally develop relationship with the channel partner or the direct selling through the health and natural specialty stores, establish scientific credibility through the product testing, enhance R&D. Pharma, they are not bothering about taste and convenient. They are not selling through consumer food outlet, and re-engineer marketing and branding to the more consumer facing. But all the pharma company, so who are involved in the nutraceutical business, they are re-engineering their marketing strategy, because their marketing strategy only on the uh, disease prevention. But when you are dealing with nutraceutical, it is not only disease prevention, it is the wellness. So they are re-engineering their marketing and branding also. And there is a huge investment in this area. So when you see the nutraceutical category, you can see the sick care, that all the cholesterol, arthritis, diabetes, these are all traditionally, these are all pharmaceutical controlled area. And you can see the traditional healthcare and food here, but there is a peripheral opportunity here. You can see through nutraceutical or through evidence-based food, you can control arthritis, you can control cholesterol, you can control diabetes also. So that means these are the new category that is in between pharmaceutical and functional food. If you see the journey, in nutrition, we are targeting metabolic stress, but in pharma, we are targeting metabolic syndrome. So almost these are same, but only the name is different. So we are targeting the stress. So we are mostly concerned about the homeostasis of the health, but in pharma industry, uh, they are targeting the curing the disease. But there are a lot of safety issues also in this area. Now I will talk something about the medical food. It's a very unique category that introduced very recently, not very old, and it is very popular in USA also. A unique category, US FDA regulated product that was established in 1983. First, medical food requirements must be used under the supervision of physician. So that should be under the supervision of doctor. So you cannot go to the pharmacy and buy that product and you take this. It is not like that. So you have to recommend it and supervised by the doctor. Must meet the distinctive nutritional requirement or metabolic deficiency. That means that cannot be met with the simple dietary shift. So that means you need a special dietary requirements or nutritional requirement that you cannot meat with the simple nutrition or food. Must be safe and must be manufactured according to the CGMP, that is the pharma GMP manufacturing environment. So medical food, it is in between nutraceutical, dietary supplement, and the prescription drug, you can say. So if you, it's a nice comparison. The left-hand side, the prescription drug, medical food, and dietary supplement or nutraceutical. Physician supervision required, doctor supervision, medical food required, dietary supplement not required. Pre-market approval, because you need a US FDA or CDSCO in India also, you need a pre-market approval of this product. But for medical food and dietary, you don't need. Target population, sick or diseased people. Medical food also sick and diseased people, but dietary supplement is healthy people. Claims as approved by the FDA, dietary management of the nutritional need, structure function claims also. Safety as approved by the FDA, GRAS ingredients, reasonable expectation of safety. Scientific requirements, you need phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 trial. And you are hard, you are now everybody is expert in this area because you are listening every day in the TV also. The phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, all, where is the vaccine? It is a phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So for any prescription drug, you need all these 3. But medical food, you need a clinical trial, phase 2 clinical trial with the finished product. So recognize science and medical evaluation. But for the dietary supplement, you don't need double-blinded placebo-controlled trial. But if you have some level of scientific evidence, so you can still use this. So claims, the regular food, that is the functional food. If you see the yellow color zone, that is specialized dietary supplement, polymeric diet, peptide-based diet. But in the red or that color, that immune modulation, all this area, that is part of the medical food and part of the pharmaceutical agent also. So this is one of the very nice article, I can say. If you read this article that written by me a few years back about the medical food, you can get some top level idea about this category also. So market dynamics, it's growing because it's a health. We all want to control our health. We all looking for health benefit. So that's why the market is growing. It is a new category. It is a nearly $20 billion in 2019 and 31 billion it is expected 2027. 10% projected market growth. You can see whereas 1 to 2% in pharmaceutical, there is a 10% projected market growth and double increase in the patent application. That means, so those area you can see the new patents coming. You cannot see new patents in pharma area, but you can see the new patent in medical food area. I will show you one graph. The application area, chronic kidney disease, minimum hepatic encephalopathy, chemotherapy induced diarrhea, pathogen related infection, diabetics, neuropathy, ADHD, depression, Alzheimer, nutritional deficiency, and orphan disease also. It's a huge marketing potential, especially for the baby boomers who are looking, who are approaching to the aging area, and they are looking because the inflammation is a very common root of all disease in the aging population. So they want to buy this product. And if you see this increasing interest in this area, in 2017, that booming started 10 years before, 10 to 12 years before. Nestle first purchased Novartis nutritional business. Novartis is a purely pharma company. They have a nutritional business. Nestle bought this. 217, Danone acquired Royal Numico and the Nutricia. So Nutricia is present in India also. So that means there are two big groups in medical food area. One is Nestle, that is a Nestle uh, medical medical health or something. I just forgot the name. Nestle Health Science, and the second group is Danone Group. So these are the two big group. 2010, Danone acquired Medical Nutrition USA. 2010, Nestle acquired many companies in this area. You can see uh, uh, they bought uh, Danino, Cassidy, Masasi, Prismic Foundation, uh, Acera, uh, that is a big product in America also for the Alzheimer disease. And recently Nestle acquired the Pan America Laboratories, that is PAM Lab. So these are purely a medical food company also. Some example of medical food, you can see the formulation for the Limbrel for the osteoarthritis, that is Assignee Unigen USA. You can see the where patent is approved. Uh, Updated formulation for the Fostium, also from osteoarthritis. Albion, amino acid based medical food targeting neurotransmitter, that is a targeted medical pharma. Method of manufacturing medical food diabetes, that is the Response Scientific Incorporation. And this is the Axona, that is the treating the Alzheimer disease, that is the Acera Incorporation. You can see the just in 1 year, 2008, although it is quite old, but you can see just 1 year how many patent filed in USA. That is roughly 325. That is by one big company, Mondo Biotech. And you can see the other company, DuPont, Schwabe, Martek, Nestec, Nutricia, Abbott. All these big pharma nutra company, they applied patent in this medical food area. There are a lot of challenges in this area. Lack of knowledge about the medical food. People don't know what is medical food, but they only know it is good for them. That means there is a high degree of skepticism, especially the educated people. If they don't know more, they won't use this. So that's why there is little bit skepticism. More product specific clinical research uh, just to convince the physician, the doctors, because I have been involved with many medical marketing activity in the past also. And I experienced doctor wants clinical evidence. And that is also a double-blinded placebo-controlled trial, and mostly in the pharmacokinetics area. How the product is doing in your body. So that means to convince doctor, you need more clinical research. Regulatory burden, readily available through the pharmacies and through the office of dispensing physician, and integration of healthcare system and to include into the medical insurance scheme. That is a big challenge. That is a big problem. Not only in India, and not only in Asian country, it is big problem in Western countries also. Most of the medical food and the dietary supplement or Ayurvedic medicine or traditional Chinese medicine, these are not part of the medical insurance scheme. Recently, last 3-4 years, some companies, some big insurance company, they are covering 20-25% of the cost, but not the 100%. So that means you have to convince this medical insurance company to take this treatment into the cover. Future, just one example, you can see the in USA also, only in USA, more than 50,000 Alzheimer patient that is the reported. There are many patient under dementia, but not declared as the Alzheimer patient. But you can see that globally it is a few million people that is suffering from Alzheimer. A 3-year-old biotech startup company, Ultragenyx, has initiated phase 2 drug trial on a rare muscle wasting disorder. you can see that means the more and more products are coming with very, very high level of clinical trial, phase 2, phase 3 trial, that is equivalent to the high level pharmaceutical product. I will give you case studies for two products. One is Nurepa and another is Suvinate. So these are the world renowned two medical food, and that is a regulatory approved medical food. Uh, Nurepa, it is for depression, bipolar disorder, and schizophrenia. That is developed by the Prismic Pharmaceutical Company, and that is taken over by Nestle now. You can see these. What is the specialty of this product? Because in normal food or normal nutraceutical, you cannot develop 92% EPA. You know the EPA, that one type of short chain fatty acid, that is the omega-3, if we call simple way. The EPA is the one type of omega-3, and for all this depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, you need a very, very high concentrated EPA. So that means they develop a proprietary product, concentrate, 92% EPA in 1 gram capsule. And that is the patent. And they have done a few good clinical trial, and they are selling through the prescription only route, through the doctors only. Okay? Studies have clearly demonstrated an association between the depression and low dietary intake of omega-3. So you have to justify. If you take low intake of omega-3 or EPA, you have some problem in depression. Then you have to show the clinical trial that 92% high concentrated EPA that can improve all these biomarker in this area. And they have done these trials, you can see. Second product is Suvinate. I don't know whether they introduced in India also. There was some discussion few years back because Nutricia is very strong in India, but it is present in all Western countries. It is for the early Alzheimer disease. You can see the bottle. It's a 80 ml shot, small shot, 80 ml. So the early Alzheimer patient have take one shot, like a caffeine shot or the sports nutrition type of things. It's a very tasty. It is coming from different taste. And what is it? Suvinate, a food for special medical purpose for the dietary management of early stage of Alzheimer disease and must be used under medical supervision. So it is a DHA and EPA, that is the fish oil, omega-3, two types of omega-3. B vitamins, especially the, we know the vitamin B6 is very, very important for all this brain health. Uridine monophosphate and choline and phospholipid. This is a very, very unique formulation, and they developed a new delivery system, Fortacin. So that developed this one. So they have done 10 years research in this area, and they have published 4 very good clinical trial, and they launch this product in the Alzheimer disease area. So 2 big clinical trials have been carried to look after the Suvinate on the 500 patient with mild Alzheimer disease. And this is another trial that is a 24 weeks. It's a very long trial over the 12 weeks period, and Suvinate, and the second trial that is 24 weeks. If you are interested, you can go through all these studies also. The new category, as I said, because the regulatory evolution is very important, because if you developed a new product with science, if it is not approved by the regulatory bodies, there is no use. And that's why the India is leading in this area. So, and Dr. Cartier here also, as I said, there are few other personalities also, and Dr. Cartier is one of the founder of this proposal. So it is now active in India. So it is not a dietary supplement or nutraceutical. It is a drug, but it is a Schedule Y, new category, and that has to be uh, coming from the plant, phyto. That's why it is a phytopharmaceutical. And this is the definition. Purified, it is not an extract, because extract is mixture of so many things. It should be purified or fraction, minimum 4 bioactive compound, and has to be clinically trialed, and only the parental route. So then your product is qualified for the phytopharmaceutical drug. There are similar type of category in other countries also. In Australia, you can see the OST-R. That is a registered product, complementary medicine registered. We have 3 category. One is listed category, that is a lower category. Another is assessed category, TGA assessed. And the top one is the OST-R. So you need a product specific clinical trial, high level of safety, quality, and efficacy data. So it is almost like the phytopharmaceutical in India also. And if you see the Sri Lanka also, there is a new category that is called borderline product. Means the product having the combined characteristics of the medicine and food. So that means if you developed a product that address some high level of health issue, then and if you don't want to go to the pharmaceutical route, so instead of dietary supplement or Ayurvedic product, you can apply for the borderline product. So think of nutrition. It is a combination of nutraceutical and pharmaceutical, and for the prevention and treatment of it is a new simulation model. It's a new concept. Synergy between pharmaceutical and nutraceutical. And how well nutrition slant thinking would prevent and treat the lifestyle disease. And you know, these most of the problem we are facing today, from cardiovascular disease, from diabetes, obesity, all are related to the lifestyle. So that these are we need to treat lifestyle disease with the something that is either medical food or evidence-based nutraceutical also. Just last 2 slides. I am giving you one example, the fenugreek. You all know fenugreek, which covers from wellness to treatment continuum. So that means fenugreek is many thousands here present in India and some other Asian country, in Iran, Egypt, all these countries. But we from this company, we developed a different fraction of fenugreek. If we see this one, we isolated amino acid fraction, we isolated alkaloid fraction, we isolated glycoside fraction, we isolated fiber fraction. And amino acid, it is for glucose control or hyperglycemia, that is for diabetes. Alkaloid, we are positioning from the productive and antioxidant area. Glycoside, we are promoting through anti-inflammatory or free testosterone increase area. And the fibers, we are promoting in the weight management, muscle building, fat reducing, lactation area. So wellness area, strong scientific evidence for many health benefits like active biomarker characteristics, extensive efficacy, health claim supported by, and there are 85 publications from this company only on fenugreek. They have 77 patents only on fenugreek. They are sports nutrition area, testosterone booster, body composition, endurance, wellness segment, that is libido, bone, joint, muscle, healthy sugar, and this went to the rigorous GMP compliant and DNA barcoding area. So these are the different area: the amino acid, alkaloid, glycoside, saponin, soluble fiber, insoluble fiber, and protein and fiber also. So the last slide, the take-home message: the shift in healthcare from treatment to prevention is encouraging clinician and patient to think differently about health and disease. So you cannot think health or disease in a very traditional way. So we need to think differently, creating momentum for nutraceutical with opportunities for pharma food companies to get involved in the disease and care pathway. As I said, more food companies coming in this space like Nestle, uh, Yakult, more pharma companies in coming into this space, very hardcore pharma company like uh, um, Abbott, like GSK, like Sun Pharmaceutical. So these are coming to this space. So it's a unique space and it's targeting our health, wellness, and curing the disease also. Thank you very much. If you need any further information, you can contact me through this my email also. You can call me if you need any help, or you can contact Professor Roy also. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Dilip Ghosh. You have given an excellent lecture on a new concept of nutrition and also the food medicine in details. So we have got some question from one Girish Gupta. Dr. Ghosh, 92% EPA with how much potency?
It's a pure EPA.
Yes.
Okay, it is pure EPA that is isolated from fish oil.
What about the potency?
By their patented technology,
yeah,
they combine this high EPA, 92% EPA, in a 1 gram of capsule.
So this is the same figure, you know. Okay,
yes.
Now we are open for question and answer. Anybody else wants to talk, wants to ask any question? Anybody is having any question? So, okay. Now I got one question, Dr. Dilip Ghosh, because you see, what is the market of these nutraceuticals or medical foods in India? Why it is not growing in that fashion, the way the other countries are coming up? So what is the lacuna you feel?
Currently nearly 3 billion US dollar Indian market.
Yeah.
2.8, and Ayurvedic product not part of the nutraceutical in India. So Ayurveda is growing a decent way also. But why it is not growing that much like USA, Japan, or other countries also? First is the traditional food companies, they are not willing to invest into this area because you need evidence. Without evidence, you cannot sell this product.
Yeah.
So consumers are very clever now. So it's a one click. Anything you will get from the Google.
Okay.
So that means they will check before buying. So that means you need evidence. Now the more and more companies are coming into this area. That's why the sales are growing. Second is Indian export of nutraceutical is, although they are selling good in ingredients area, but the finished product area, they are very, very poor because India never invested in developing brand. You need a brand. Without a brand, you cannot sell in regulated countries. But they are very weak in branding. You know that generic pharmaceutical vaccine, they are controlling 45 to 70% of the global market. But in case of nutraceutical, it's a 2% only. So that means we need more awareness for the local consumers. We need branding for the global consumers, and we need more investment in research and clinical trial. And also we need a flexible regulatory regime. So that government regulatory bodies, they have to interact with the industry, what industry wants, and they have to work that way.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Dilip Ghosh. One more question from Pramod Shukla. What study and data required to claim a product a medical food? what study and data required to claim a product a medical food?
Yes. So very simply, you need a product specific. Like there are many clinical studies on curcumin, but ingredients and finished product, these are different. There are many steps between ingredients and a finished product. You need a clinical study on your product, finished product, and you need at least a phase 2. That is not only safety. The phase 1 is purely a safety study. Phase 2, combination of safety and efficacy study, and phase 3 is the very wider scale of clinical trial. So you need at least phase 2 clinical trial, you need a product specific clinical trial, and you need a GMP, pharma GMP manufacturing facility. You cannot manufacture medical food in food GMP or India, that is WHO GMP is very popular, but WHO GMP is not a CGMP. So that means you need a pharma GMP manufacturing facility, and it should be a GRAS, that means generally recognized as safe. So the safety data should be very high level.
Yeah. One more question from Mr. Girish Gupta. What is your opinion about phytopharma? As one question, and second question, why none of the product is approved yet through guidelines, and are there since 2015?
Yeah, actually it introduced in 2017, although it is approved by ministry a few years back, but actually it is coming in the 2017. But after few dilemma and everything, developing the policy, everything, it took some time. Then all this coronavirus coming, but it's a very interesting, because there are many industries, they are willing to invest in clinical trial. But if you develop a product by investing $2 million, then other generic Nutra company, same like Bacopa. In Australia, there is one Bacopa product, that is the Indian Bacopa, that is CDRI 08, that is Central Drug Research Institute Bacopa. They have done 8 clinical trial on the Bacopa. But there are, if you introduce that Bacopa in India, in the nutraceutical category, all companies, they haven't done anything. They will use this information. So that means there is no guarantee of return. So no marketing advantage in this area. That's why the government introduced a new category. And many product in India, there is a law by Supreme Court, doctors cannot prescribe nutraceutical or functional food. They can write in a blank paper, but they cannot prescribe. So that means if you registered your product under phytopharmaceutical, so because it's a scheduled drug, pharmaceutical drug, so doctor can also prescribe. So there are many advantage, but there are some stringent, because it shouldn't be a fraction extract. Most of the Indian nutraceutical functional food, these are the plant extract, the whole extract. You need to be purified, and the minimum 4 active component that should be present in and every component should be characterized. So that means you have to do some high level research, then you can easily register through the phytopharmaceutical.
One more question from Mr. Girish Gupta. Do you have any formulations on fenugreek which falls under phytopharma?
Not yet, because we registered 2 formulation with TGA Australia. We registered 2 formulation with Health Canada. We registered with couple of other countries also. We are trying to register with Malaysia under traditional herbal medicine. But in India, we haven't registered, because Indian market is, because it's a very expensive product. So we are not taking any risk to launch in the India now. because Indian market cannot afford uh, that 2000 rupees product currently. That's why we are at this stage not interested in Indian market, but maybe in the future we can see.
Okay, there's one more question from Mr. Pramod Shukla. Can a medical food prepared and get approved using multi-ingredients or mono-ingredients need to be done? This is the one part. And if multi-grain, multi-ingredients means vitamins and minerals and herbs, then how this combination justify for a specific clinical study?
I think there is no problem in multiple ingredients and single ingredients in the medical food.
Hmm.
You have to satisfy the requirements. That means if you are targeting some area like early Alzheimer or some depression or bipolar disease also, the normal nutrition cannot provide the need, the requirement. So that's why you have to develop a new formulation. It can be a single component, it can be a multiple component like souvenir. Souvenir has 4, 5, 6 component also, but you have to prove your hypothesis or theory in the clinical trial, and the how it works, the mechanism of action, and how it the clinical outcome also you have to prove.
And one more question from Girish Gupta. What are the business opportunities in Australia for water-soluble nano curcumin?
um, so we need to check the because it's very hard to tell you that it's a broad spectrum question also. uh, we have to check the formulation, we have to check the what technology. Nanotechnology is a very big word. uh, we have to check, but first it has to be compliance with the regulatory uh, authority, whether you want to use as a food or you want to as a therapeutic goods. Then you have to register this product with this authority. Then you can go for the market. Um, it's a big opportunity. Um, People know it is well established in medical area. So that nanotechnology is very, very useful in some medical problem. So why not food? So potential perspective, it's a huge, but from regulatory, you have to overcome the regulatory hurdles also.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Dilip Ghosh. But I have some request. What is your message to our food science and technology students? So, whatever should be their next course of research area where they can move?
I think as a graduate student, uh, I don't know about your curriculum, but if you see the uh, Australian curriculum also, food science and technology, they are not that much classroom based type of things. These are mostly with the collaboration with industry, project based, that sort of things. So you need a very, very close association with industry, and the student get a real life experience when they are studying. Uh, because you know at the end of your when you complete your study, when you enter into the professional area, that all these theoretical, it's very important. You need to know the chemistry, you need to know the physics also, but these that bookish knowledge, that you need the practical things how you can apply, and there are a lot of challenges will come when you develop a formulation also. And food science and technologies, these are not only for the formulation development, they are involving in many areas also, like they are involving in big clinical trials, they are involving in medical marketing area also. So there are a lot of opportunity, but you need a exposure, good exposure, the real life exposure. That's why you need a very close contact with the industry.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ghosh. We are looking forward to a long-term relationships with you and with your associated organizations.
Sure.
And we need to have a more webinar now in this field. I will share our syllabus with you also, syllabus of the basic food science and technology BSc and MSc program. And we can also you share their, this is your university's syllabus, so that we can identify where is our lacuna. Definitely, as you said, that's a, this is an applied area, applied science. We need to have a more laboratory work compared to theoretical. Theoretical concept is to give them the idea, but we need to have a more laboratory work and project and industrial visit and industrial training, so that our students will get ready actual practical idea or concept. Thank you, Dr. Dilip Ghosh. Now I request Professor B.V. Poira to give the valedictory address. Thank you. Sir,
Thank you.
over to Professor B.V. Poira. Please, sir.
Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Sulpat Professor Dr. Dilip Ghosh, Dr. Pranavesh Chakraborty, Dr. Sevak Ranjan Rai, my beloved student participants from industry, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really grateful to the authority to invite me to participate in this webinar on the Holy
Where, sir, excuse me, sir. Sir, if you can be a bit louder. So your voice is very low. Sir. Yes, sir. Bit louder, sir. Only a bit louder will be better. Yes. Sir.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
What should I say? The whole audience was spellbound for almost 20 minutes past 1 hour with the discourse of Dr. Ghosh on fortification and encapsulation in food materials, starting with functional foods, nutraceuticals, medical food. He went on talking upon the dietary supplements, the phytopharmaceuticals, oral line products, nutrition, and phenogenic seed extracts. He also gave some case studies, which I think are very much illuminating and will motivate our audience to undertake such jobs in this country. He also gave comparative studies of all such processes and applications of functional foods, nutraceuticals, medical foods, and all this. He also narrated the challenges before such products. He emphasized on wellness rather than on treatment. Friends, I am a very old person who started looking to the world when India was invaded with wheat imported under PL4. Then there was so-called Green Revolution with high-yielding varieties. And when we were working at the academic level, we had to experiment milk, instant tea from tea extract, or instant coffee from coffee extract, where get it out to uh, generate interest among we students at that time. Now then, at the end of my area, and now I find that we can have medical foods, we can have nutraceuticals, and what I what I foresee is that we can have tablets or like Cadbury chips marked with calories, and the calorie that you can take could be prescribed or unsubscribed, and you can have a food with such calories which you are advised to take to keep you healthy. Dr. Ghosh elaborated on masking unpleasant feelings during eating. We talked about protecting aroma, all these things, immobilization of cells or enzymes, and all these things. And I hope interaction, continuous interaction with him from the faculty members of our university or the members who are interested in research or establishing industry may continue to keep contact with him and get the benefit of his wisdom. Friends, we all are, should I should say, learned a lot from the lecture of Dr. Ghosh. I appreciate the effort of Dr. Rai to wrote in Dr. Ghosh to deliver this lecture, and I wish to have a similar discourse from Dr. Ghosh in near future on a subject of his choice or of his expertise. I will look forward to that. Thank you, Dr. Ghosh, for your finding so much time for us, for our benefit. And again, we look forward to you for such approach in the future. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your speech. Yeah, one more thing, one more question has come. I got it from chat box from Shiv Prasad Mondol. Which foods are biosafety level? Please mention what are the criteria for biosafety level of foods. How trace elements like zinc are effective against COVID-19? To Dr. Dilip Ghosh. Should I read once again?
Sorry. Can you repeat the question? I
Yeah,
cannot
yes.
understand the actual
From
question.
I got it from chat box from Shiv Prasad Mondol. Which foods are biosafety level? Please mention it. What are the criteria for biosafety level of food? And last question: how trace elements like zinc are effective against COVID-19?
I don't know what you exactly mean by biosafety, but for any whether it is a food, functional food, nutraceutical, natural medicine, or pharmaceutical also, for safety studies, you have to do at different levels, like the acute toxicity, chronic toxicity, that means 7-day toxicity study, 14 days toxicity study, then repeat toxicity study, that is 90 days toxicity study. Then you have to do some chromosome aberration and teratogenic activity of your product onto the human chromosome also. So these are the different levels of safety study you have to conclude it to bring your product into the market. And when you apply to the US FDA also, so there is a category that is called GRAS, GRAS, generally recognized as safe. So you have to prove your product, whether it is a food, dietary supplement, nutraceutical, that has passed all these categories also. And to answer the second question, what is that? The gene and COVID, what is that?
How trace element like zinc are effective against COVID
Oh, zinc,
19?
zinc.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it's a gene. So it is, this zinc is already established for immunity boosting, but how it relate to the COVID is a very interesting. I have another lecture on 24th of October. That is more on COVID and that natural product also. Uh, uh, you can say zinc for immunity boosting, that's established. But how zinc is good for COVID patient, it is not established yet. There is no study. And COVID immunity is a very complicated immunity. So if you have some early level, if you want to increase the immunity, that's good. But most of the COVID patient, that is, they died from the hyperimmunity. So that means if your immunity go haywire, uh, out of control, the patient will die. So it's, I can say at this stage, it is not uh, established, zinc and COVID, but it is definitely, there are strong evidence zinc improve the immunity.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Dilip Ghosh, for your answer and for your very good lecture. Now, I request Professor Pravesh Chakraborty to give a vote of thanks. Sir, should I do it on your behalf? Should I do it on your behalf? Okay, thank you, sir. Okay. Professor V. Boyra, sir, are you asking any question to Dr. Dilip Ghosh? Okay, now on behalf of Professor Pranavesh Chakraborty, our director, I am giving the vote of thanks. I am authorized to give you the vote of thanks. This is really excellent program, no doubt. Dr. Dilip Ghosh has given a beautiful and nice presentation which has got innovative ideas about the medical foods and pharmaceuticals and nutraceuticals. But at the same time, we are enriched with the knowledge, definitely. Now, I definitely thanks Professor, our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Shoikat Moitro, to give us the scope for this organizing such a program on webinar, and authorized me to invite different speakers like Dr. Dilip Ghosh and etc. And I also thanks this MAKAUT webinar group. All the staffs has helped a lot, particularly Koel and Prem Kumar. And also I thanks Professor B. Poira, who being an aged person has listened to each of the topics and gave his validity lecture nicely noted down. And also I thanks Professor Pranavesh Chakraborty, though he is right now cannot speak because of his throat problem, but he is always with us for such a program. I always got his help and cooperation in every aspect. So thank you, Professor Pranavesh Chakraborty, sir, and also to all the panelists who are present here and all the participants who has given their patience hearing to his speech. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Dilip Ghosh, Professor, sir, and already Dr. B. Poira has already left. Thank you. We should meet once again. Okay, and give us the link on your 24th October lecture to me so that I can circulate. This is a very good topic. Thank you. Okay, thank you.